dawn, everyone. I am late for work, and that's okay. That's gonna be life. I'm rolling on stream of consciousness right now, so I have no idea what I am about to say. Oh, did they put little... They did. They indented the double yellow line over here, so now if you're crossing over, it'll rub your tires a little bit. You'll have that effect going on. That might be a decent idea. That's probably a good idea. There are weird accidents that happen around here on occasion. I wouldn't say that this is the strip of it that's the most like that. I'd say that up ahead is more like that. There's a Dunkin' Donuts up ahead. Not the one I poison myself with currently. But up ahead there's a Dunkin' Donuts, which is not at an intersection. It's a lot trickier to pull out, especially if you want to cut across traffic. Ugh. So I was thinking a little bit about the scenario with the helicopter crash in DC, as the conversation about things like the pilots and stuff continue. So I will say this much. I got family who knows people, and let's just say that as far as anybody knows about her and her personal life, which would be related to the DEI accusations or anything else, she had a good reputation. She was well loved by a whole bunch of people. Seemed like she was perfectly straightforward person in their world, right? And I'm talking about, these are people close. There's a particular person that I know. Robert Phoenix, doing his digging, has been looking at her father. So, if there's anything afoot here, there's a patsying situation. There was nothing up with her in any personal capacity, and I don't think she was a person she was not a DEI hire. She, maybe the DEI approved her or something like that, because it may have been a necessary just part of a process. But she's an actual pilot. She actually knew what the fuck she was doing and was good at it and loved her life. And was respected by others that were excellent at it. So that's the deal with that pilot. I trust my source on this. But also, this lets you know that anything I ever have to say about the particular of her, this helicopter pilot as a person, will have a little bit of personal bias because of the person than I am close to who knows people. But it is my contention that she is a patsy, because there's no way that that's not some fucking situation. Right? There's accidents happen, and then there's accidents happen while you're deliberately running a training program with somebody who's supposed to be able to, at the very least, handle basic things. You know, like flying over populated areas, because they've proven that they have done it a million times, and there's all sorts of things. Granted, all this happened over a river. Who knows if the logic had changed at that point for whomever, but it's understood that the helicopter did the thing, right? It's understood that the helicopter did the thing. A helicopter, I believe, can have its avionics overrode. Just like the very likely theory on 9/11 with the avionics of 2001 fucking aircraft being fucking taken over by central networked source. He honked at you? What are you talking about? Who honked at me? Did somebody honk it? I didn't hear a honk. No clue what you're talking about. NGL? What do you... Well, I have no clue what you're talking about. Nicholas, what's going on? Why we being so fucking weird? That big ass coffee, haha. Not used in those... Not used to those in France. Ah. Yeah, but I think you guys don't need big ass fucking cups of coffee, because you guys are basically drinking engine grease. I've heard about native Frenchmen and their fucking coffee. Okay. Alright, okay, so NGL means not gonna lie. Okay, got it. But, yeah. But, you know, to me it just looks like niggle. Hey, what's up, dude? Waking your mind. I'll be doing something with Derek this month. We're just waiting to narrow down the day. Or did we narrow down the day? Was that tonight? Are we doing the thing tonight? I can't fucking remember shit. It's been a long week. Excuse me. But anyway, I'm just confused as to what Nicholas was referring to. There was a honking situation on a different drive stream that I did. Yeah, looking to get my power back. Oh, your power's still off? Oh, wow. That's crazy. I thought in Europe, civil service like that, I'm always used to hearing the stories where it's really fucking efficient, and it's like in most minor emergencies, shit's back to normal in like a day, right? So, alright. Well, be on the lookout. Home network for Derek is offline, so he can't run things from his command center. But Derek does awesome stuff. You can see him on my channel when I was mirroring my interview with Tom Althouse, which was a panel interview. I was kind of like the de facto leader of the panel, but we did it on his show because he was doing a whole Matrix thing at the time, and we were all ready to take it to the next level. Right, because next level is when you fucking realize Tom Althouse is telling you the truth, and it completely changes your imagination of how a movie is written and goes from writing to fucking production. Changes your entire fucking perspective on it, because you find out, exactly how little they fucking care for writers at all. And that's why all the movies in Hollywood suck. That's why all your fucking films and TVs suck. Because the writers, in particular, they've basically fucking canned them. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who's to fucking really like who's to blame on the ultimate level. We just know I just know the truth of what happened to Tom and how much that looks like a bunch of other fucking things that happened that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but fits a formula, on top of the fact that all these things that are in his script got put across things outside of not just the Matrix franchise, but even outside of the Wachowskis' body of work, even outside of Warner Brothers' body of fucking work, as it goes, and things kind of started getting connected to Disney, and he explains the Elon Musk thing, and it's like, this is why I did this, right? Because it's one thing to be like a movie conspiracy guy on the philosopher's fucking spectrum and so on and so forth. It is quite a fucking other thing to fucking work with the actual substance of the art form in its cultural relationship. That's a big part of what this is, right? Because if Tom got to fucking make The Immortals instead of The Matrix, we would have had an art film, an art piece that would have been a damn near perfect mirror of the fucking real deal. And unfortunately, on at least a subconscious level, the Hollywood mafia, which had completely taken over, I don't know, probably had completely taken over in the 1940s, but either way, the Hollywood mafia, in its tie-ins to whatever fucking aspects of the deep state that it had in the 90s, when they were grooming Tom for a different fucking life, which he would have still compromised on his script, but he would have been fucking obedient about it. And that was not the way, because he stood by the integrity of his work. Right? Because whenever I hear all these guys like Critical Drinker complaining about Hollywood and shit, it's just like, why aren't you guys fucking talking about Tom Althouse yet? Tom Althouse literally is explaining everything you're fucking bitching about. Stop, you're hallucinating the idea that these people are capable of fucking making a good movie. They're not. They don't want the people that are capable of making a good movie making their movies. Not anymore, anyway. Not ever since the writers couldn't fucking make films like this anymore, because the only place that their imaginations could go with these dystopias was for stuff that was definitely fucking in the works. Because the psyche was already in that conditioning zone. And so they had to fucking rip the fucking mind out of Hollywood and say, nope, you are now devoid of your ability to have depth. And we lost the depth. We have the expanse of it, but we don't have the depth. Like the multiverse. Okay, you got Disney's multi-fucking-verse. Right? Marvel multiverse. DC multiverse. Whatever. DC's Warner Brothers, right? None of it goes very deep. It's like it's the rabbit hole, but it's the shallows. It's just like you go down the rabbit hole, but then you just get lost on level 1 of the rabbit hole. You don't even go down the rabbit hole anymore. You just kind of like peek into it a little bit, go crazy, and come back out. No, that was fun. And meanwhile, you're completely avoiding the climb of the alchemical mountain. Right? You've got to you've got to go down the rabbit hole a certain point to know that you've got this juxtaposition that is much harder to do on your ascent. Let me see. Bear with me, folks. Put that back on. That back there. Good. All right. As long as my infotainment system is projecting my GPS, I can keep doing this. It goes off and on, and I have to reset it because I still haven't second natured my trip to this job yet. But anyway, so yeah, it would have been. I'm trying to remember the name. Like, there's a couple of things that come out every once in a while which are so fucking on point sometimes that you effectively watch it and you say names have been changed to protect the guilty, like House of Cards. House of Cards, you might as well say based on current events. It's how you should have labeled the series at that time. Because it fucking nailed it, and everything happens like that. You just have to change the names. You just insert name, and this is how the sausage is made. And all the saucy, sexy scandals of it all. And I believe the reason why in the higher plan it has to continue to be this kind of bullshit with Hollywood for the most part is because it is no longer enough for the cinematic arts to be a part of your spiritual maturation process. We are now graduating from the referential in that regards now that more direct knowledge is within grasp of the mind, right? We have the ability to listen to all lectures and all the fucking films, like documentary films, right? Read the books, listen to the audio books, check out documentation for yourself, aids for advanced mathematics, using special calculators, yada yada yada. Like you got all these things now, where you have the personal ability to seek out something remarkable, right? This is why, like, this whole conversation that... Oh, this is not my exit. Oh, wrong exit. Wrong exit. There you go. Didn't want to skip it. Missing an exit is so annoying. Anyway, that threw me off for a minute. Yeah. So, novelty, right? Cliff High talks about novelty, right? And, because this is a word that is associated with the phenomenon that is kind of like what he's talking about with his web bots, which are a reflection of what the mind is doing on the internet, right? What is the human mind doing now that it puts everything into the digital ledger, right? And Cliff High's web bots are designed to fucking, run the data across the digital ledger of the trends of data points to words or something like that. And then from that, he is figuring out the correlation between that and phenomenon that occurs. For instance, the drone events that emerged in December last year were predicted. Cliff High predicted this in his WebBot language, right? And this was a novelty event, right? So there are certain things that then trigger other things, because there's a lot of it's an oracle. Like these WebBots, he's created a modern digital augur hunter, if you will, right? It's telling you these are the auguries to look for, right? So if Donald Trump has an interview with Joe Rogan, 40 days or something, 60 days, whatever the fuck it was, from that point, there will be some sort of hostilities between us and space aliens, per se, right? Space alien being the placeholder word for phenomenon, UFO phenomenon, as an event. Specifically UFO, not even talking about like little green men showing up. Although it is kind of vague. But, we're talking about things that are highly likely. And we saw what likely happened, and it did. And so he was right. Like, it was off by, like, maybe 2 days or something like that to the exacting date of the WebBot prediction of the date in which all of this makes sense, and then the novelty emerged, and then it was novel because it was perpetual for like a fucking month. In theory, we didn't hear about it, but nobody would have been just like, oh my god, there's a lot of drones in the sky today, right? Sorry, guess it's a little bit of a dead zone right there. Anyway, my point is that the drones had been emerging for days, and then on. So, technically it did start when it didn't hear about it for like 2 days, right? Because I had to have a couple of days build up to where people were finally looking up. Sorry about that. The people were highly agitated. Astrological energies in the air combined with that particular part of the country being predominantly, anti the prevalent that emerged. What I mean, because certain people seized power, and they're pretty upset about it in the incoherent manner in which ways are. Right? And so all of this is becoming this psychic projection that has opened up the portal for these things. Right? And although... And the conversation is in accord with what the WebBots are at, right? Because the predominance of people talking about this being a mystical phenomenon instead of something that is hard-boiled with visitors in physical freaking vessels, right? Like, we're talking about spirit conjuration here. Like, these things are... they're luminescent, like stars. They're plasmoid, plasmics, so on and so forth. As well as some of your fucking quadcopters. I mean, there were fucking quadcopters. People were reporting big hulking. I saw pictures. So you got your SUV style military drones and things like that were also running little drills and stuff at the same time that all this shit was happening, which gives the government a cover run. They needed to run an arbitrary thing that was a little bit novel in and of itself to sweep the whole thing under the rug as we were mistaking it for government tests, and then leave it like that. And then this is where we get the idea that the government has more or less shit than it actually has. Because, first off, the government has more fucking hardcore UFO shit than that. Like the secret shadow government, right? Secondly, that shit that they do have, some of it does actually work like that. But also that's old tech, and they've moved on since then. It's entirely possible that new hands are holding on to that shit. I don't know. The point is that they mixed these things together. They mix these things together so that way they've obscured a large-scale paranormal incident that they don't have any control over and don't want to panic the public that they have no control over. So they're running a drill and they're taking personal ownership of these weird things because they have no choice to. Because they don't want people to have an existential ontological crisis that breaks them from their control grid, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of people that have rationalized a way we do things in life here on this realm. I wonder if I have to receive that truck. Anyway, what we have to do on this realm. And, and we don't appreciate our level of evoking these things from within or invoking these things through us. Anyway, I'm late for work, as I said, so I'm gonna run my ass in there. Thanks for tuning in. How's it going, Peaceful Penguin? Cool conversation with Nicholas and Awaken. I can't really follow it right now, but I'm sure it was all good things. Catch you later.